Hello, my name is John from Car Inspections Dublin. This is a small little video diary of what I've done for the last few days. So here goes. One of my customers rang me up and said he was looking for a car for 10,000 euros. So anyway, on the phone, he told me what he was looking at, and fortunately, I was able to put him off that car because that particular car was a scam. Now, I think I've got another video on some of the scams that are around. So, anyway, his first choice was actually a scam. So, anyway, he said, well, look, I've got 10,000 euro to spend on a car and I've selected a couple of cars out. So, the first car we looked at was a Citroen Cactus 1.2. So we went out and had a look at this Citroen Cactus 1.2, and the car was 2016 and it was up for 11,500 euro, but the seller would take 10 for it. So we had a look at this car and it was a nice car. There wasn't really anything wrong with it. So I said, yeah, this car is okay for 10 grand if you want it. So just in conversation with the guy, I started talking to him, what do you need the car for? So he said, well, I've got a job as a salesman and I'm going to be sitting in the car all day long. Um, I said, well, this car is a little bit on the small side for sitting in and driving all day long. So he said, yeah, I see what you mean. And so we then looked at another car, and that car was a Dacia and Stepway. So we had a look at that car. It was 2016. Again, it was a bit cheaper. It was 8,500 euro. So we had a look at that Dacia, and again, I approved that car. There was nothing wrong with that car. He said, but the car is too uncomfortable. I couldn't sit in this car for all day. So I said, right, okay, well, what you really need is a car to match your job then. So you really need a saloon car, something that can, and it needs to be diesel. So he said, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. So anyway, um, in the meantime, I'd found another Stepway because this was his choice. So I'd found another one which was a little bit newer. It was 2018 and it had lower mileage on it and a higher specification, had air conditioning and a few more bells and whistles, reverse camera and a few more things. So we had a look at that one, and also that car was perfect. There was nothing really wrong with that car. So he said, but I couldn't sit in this car all day long, it's too uncomfortable. So the next car we had a look at was a bit out of his budget, but we had a look at it anyway, and that was a Ford Mondeo 1.5 diesel. This was the top of the range car, and I checked that car out. Now, it drove lovely, looked nice, everything looked good in the car, very low mileage on that particular car. But when I put the computer on it, it showed that it had a fault in the DPF temperature sensor. So I went into the computer in the car and I had a look, and you can look at the various different things working on the car through the computer. So I went into what's called live data, and this actually brought up the temperature of that particular temperature sensor, and it was stuck. It just wasn't moving. It didn't matter how hot the car got. Theoretically, if I pressed on the accelerator, the temperature should rise up on that, but it didn't. So other than that, the car was lovely. So that was it. I left it with the customer. I said the car is fine. The seller agreed to fix the fault, and the price of the car was dropped down to 11,500. Unfortunately, my customer only had 10,000, so that sale didn't go through. So at the moment, he's still searching for a 10,000 euro car that's going to be comfortable enough for him to drive all day. So that's a bit of what went on last week, and there are other inspections that have been going on, but I think that's enough for this particular video. So the lessons that my customer learned was watch out for scams, and you have to trust in the computer. Now, just say for example, he had bought that car and the deal was €11,500 cash, take it away, which was really good value, but there would have been no warranty on it. But with that particular fault in the car, even though it's only a sensor, a small sensor that costs maybe, I don't know, €50, um, if that fault wasn't rectified within a few hundred miles, the DPF filter would block and the engine light would go on, and it would have to be fixed anyway. So by having the computer on it, I was able to tell that there was a fault that was going to give more problems. So it's only a simple fault, but it could have been easily remedied. But you don't want to buy a car and take it down the road and break down, which would inevitably have happened with this particular car in the future, in the near future, I might add. Not months down the road, but a matter of days, weeks. So that's it for this. I hope you find it useful. And if you want your car professionally checked, give me a call. You'll talk directly to me. And thank you for watching.